What's up YouTube? I'm Vaughn and this is the Gear channel where we discuss collectibles, hobbies, competitive games from tabletop to video games, and today we are reviewing something that many of you have asked me to do, and that's my Beelzemon deck profile based off the Beelzemon versus Armor Rush match. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link in the description so you could definitely watch that match to see a proper idea of how the deck actually works. But before we begin, friendly reminder as always to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel a lot and I do really appreciate it. So let's start. So for Digi-Egg, we have the Demi-Meramon because of all the Digi-Eggs, this is the one that really benefit the Beelzemon deck because we're always trashing from top of a deck, so we could always get that +1 right away. And we're not just like trashing towards like declaring attacks. So a lot of the times at the beginning of our main phase, we do some trashes, so then we could just draw one, see our options that we have, and then start comboing right after, and then start declaring an attack. So very good card. Definitely, I don't see any reason to play more Digi-Egg than just 4 of these because you're not really using it that much. So usually I always have at least like 1 or 2 Digi-Eggs still left. It's very hard to actually use up all of them because you're not digivolving so much, because usually your Impmons are just coming out with Beelzemon effects, so you're not really digivolving them constantly. So now we're going to go into the main. So we do have 4 of the Impmons from EX2, definitely mandatory. One, it does help you get your tamers, but also importantly, if it gets trashed, you go and trash 3 more cards. So very good card. Then we are also playing 4 of the Impmon BT6, definitely mandatory because you could get your Beelzemon to your hand. Sadly, you cannot get the Beelzemon Blast mode because it's not a 7th grade Demon Lord or a 3 Musketeer. It's just a Demon Lord, but we have other stuff that could add it as well. So definitely mandatory to play for this. And you play 2 Impmons. Like technically you could play more. You're not trashing it so much, so 2 is alright. Like most of the times, like I use it for the Digivolve or the Warp Digivolve. There hasn't been too many times that I used it for the trashing 3. Like it's been some rare occasions that I do just for that extra, but it was something that was mostly like way later on. You never use that ability early games. You usually use his ability to trash 3 late games. So I think 2 is perfect. Okay, after that, so sadly, I don't know why, but they still don't have the new promo Wizardmon from BT9 up. So this is the proxy for it. So we're playing 4 of the new BT9 promo, which is the promo 77, I believe. So you definitely need 4 of those because when it gets trashed from the top of your deck, you get to gain a memory. But most important, the inherent effect allows you, when attacking, to put a card on top of your deck from your hand. So any purple card, so it could be an option card, a tamer card, or even a Digimon card. So you could definitely benefit a lot and do some really good plays if you actually do that. And if you saw in my match, you can see how important that ability can be. Next, we have 2 Skull Santamon. Now, we're not really doing how do you say, or level 4 or 5 Digivolution that often. So this is definitely a little extra now just to get their Beelzemon or Beelzemon Blast mode with this, and it allows us to trust 2, but its inherent ability is quite good. If we trust from the top of a deck, we gain 1 memory, which is quite good. We do have stuff to get it back, but now this build doesn't really focus too much on actually doing proper Digivolution. And if I were to actually change like the playstyle, like the whole deck would actually be changed completely. Like this is a much more aggressive approach of trashing the top cards of your deck and doing your Beelzemon combos as fast as possible. But if you are trying to focus more on actually doing like proper Digivolutions, this is definitely not the right build, and it would be a whole different structure of the build to do. So definitely 2 Santamon for this specific build. Then we have 4 Advanced Kidmon because decking out is not an option. So at least this gets us all stuff back into the deck, and we could actually choose the order. So if we want to put any of our good memories that actually like gain memories when trash, we could put all of them on the top. Or if there's some Digivolutions that we are planning to do, we could actually choose which ones we want to put at the top to draw into, so we could combo off even more. So it's definitely mandatory to play. I will max out on him to 4 because it's definitely a card that you will want to see, and you can actually do his ability so many times. It's very easy to get like 12 options in the trash, do that, and then do it again like the next turn. So it's definitely mandatory to play 4. Alright, next we have our Beelzemon from EX2. Definitely mandatory to play 4 of this one. You just spam your Impmons, and also his Digivolution, and when attacking is amazing. So you could actually do his ability twice in one turn when you Digivolve it and also when you attack. So you can easily send 4 cards from the top of your deck to the trash, and also you could potentially even pop 2 Digimon at the same time. So it's definitely a very strong card to have. So definitely maxing out on 4 is important. Then we have 3 of the Beelzemon from BT2. Now, I did try 2. It wasn't that great. 3 is just perfect. I don't think it's necessary to play more. That extra warp Digivolve did actually help a lot. I know a lot of people are not too keen on playing this, but it really helps in a lot of situations, and it just gives it a lot fast pace just to get the blast mode right away. If you get this Beelzemon right away, you can even just Digivolve over it for your blast mode and just wipe your opponent's board. So it's a very good card, and it helped in so many situations. At first, wasn't too keen, but then after realized that it's actually quite necessary, and 3 seemed to be the perfect number for this card in this deck. Next, we have 4 Blast Mode, which some of you might assume is very excessive, but it's necessary because this card, you just love to see it. It doesn't matter. If it gets trashed, you popping in one of your opponent's cards. If it's in your hand, you could hard play it. If it's in your trash, you could definitely Digivolve from trash. So it's definitely a card that you want to see anywhere, and you would be happy. Even in your security, it's 15,000 DP. If your opponent attacks your security and hits this, there goes the Digimon. So wherever this card is located is always good. So maxing out at 4, I think is definitely necessary. Like, you could get away for maybe like 3, like I've seen in some builds. It's like 3 Beelzemon Blast Mode and 1 Death X Mon, but it comes up pretty much the same thing. I'd rather to have 4 for this specific build. Okay, next we do have our 1 tamer, which is Ali Mokoko. I keep on saying Alo Mokoko. That's how I'm calling it now on, and nothing's going to change it. But yeah, so we're playing 3 of this one because 1, it's definitely a memory tamer, which is actually quite good, but also the ability to actually just trust from the top of our deck. And if it's a Beelzemon attacking, we could pay 3 to Digivolve for a blast mode. So very good card. Definitely necessary, and also like it definitely like builds up a bit faster if you actually get this off the bat in one shot. So if you actually play it and you start doing your first small attacks, you can start trashing and get your combo started a lot faster. So definitely a good card. I was playing 4. I think it was too much to have it at 4, because we are hard playing our Impmons very easily, so to actually add it to hand is very good. But as soon as we get 1, we don't really want to see the other one, so I think 3 is good. Then we have 4 Death Slingers. Love this card. When trash from the top of our deck, we gain a memory, and on play, we could delete one of our opponent's level 4 lore Digimon, but increase that number by 10 for each card trash. So if we have 10 cards in the trash already, that means it's going to delete a level 5 or lower. So it's very easy to delete level 5s, and even 6. We got 20 cards in the trash many times. Level 7 has been a difficulty, not going to lie, but it is possible to delete a level 7 Digimon. Next, we have 4 Darkness Wave. Now this especially this build, you want 4 of this card because it just speeds up everything. As soon, like, if you're starting your turn, you could pay 1 memory to pretty much have like 20 cards in your trash right away on your first turn, plus having like Itmon. So it's actually very possible to play a Darkness Wave for 1 memory and establish a full board just because of that 1 card, which makes it incredible. Like, this is definitely an amazing card, and in this build, you definitely want 4 of this. You want to see this constantly, and it doesn't matter where it is. Now, the only thing is that if you are planning of actually building this deck, always count of having Darkness Wave in your security. So if you're ever have like 3 cards in your deck, you have to find a way to increase that number, because if this hits your security, if your opponent attacks your security and there was this, you could actually deck yourself out many times for this. So like before, when I didn't consider that, I used to get decked out a lot of times because of Darkness Wave being in my security. But now when I try before passing my opponent's turn, I try to make sure that my deck has a good amount, so in case there was a Darkness Wave in my security, I won't lose because of deck out. Next, we have 3 Miss Memory Boost. Amazing card, gives us extra memory on top of it. It could definitely start up and start a lot of combos, especially if we have a Demi Meramon underneath our Digimon. We could actually play the memory move. Wow, so bad. Miss Memory Boost to Trust 2 and draw a card, and because of Demi, it's going to draw another card. So it's a very good card. It synergizes with the deck a lot. We could also gain quite a bit of memory as well because of this card. So we're pretty much even like potentially playing it for a lot less than 3, even like to the point of 0. And then for the follow-up turn, we're all good because we could actually gain 2 memory. So very good card. We have 3 Jack Raids. Now the reason why we're playing 3 Jack Raids is because it is very easy to spam this card, and even just gaining 1 memory from it, we could just do it repeatedly. We could actually put it back on top of our deck, do it again. But even there's many times that I gain 2 memory or 3 memory. So you want to see as much as possible. So I think 3 is good. 4 I did find was a bit excessive, but I've been very happy with having only 3 Jack Raids. I've been thinking like the consistency, it's been like on key and had no issues at all. And finally, we have 2 Calling from the Darkness, because as you can see, we are playing a low amount of level 4s or 5s. So this definitely recycles quite a bit. So if we're ever in a situation that we actually do need those extra levels, we could actually add it back. Usually we don't so much because we could warp digivolve and it's not really an issue, but this is just for that little extra, just in case if we have to get back a few of our cards, or we could even just get back like some Itmon or the Beelzemon as well and get those to set up for follow-up turns. But definitely a good card. I have not seen an issue at all with the consistency and of it being 2, so I think it's been quite good. Don't forget, we can also put this back into our deck with Avenged Kidmon, so we never really lose this card. So it's definitely a good card, and I think at 2 is actually perfect. And that's it for Beelzemon deck profile. Now, if you guys enjoyed today's video, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. And if you want a sneak peek of future products we're planning to review here on the channel, you can follow me on my Instagram, VaughnGear. I'm Vaughn, and this was the Gear Channel.